You don't have to be afraid of the recession that is here. You don't have to be afraid of what is coming. I'm Katie Hornor, your faith-based coach for experts, entrepreneurs, and coaches, helping you know today 7 ways that you can prepare to not just survive, but thrive in this economy and the recession. But first, I want to invite you to click subscribe because we've got lots more goodness where this one came from. We're really focusing on bringing you great content and value here on our YouTube channel. I also want to invite you to our free Facebook group, which you can find a link for in the comments below. We would love to have you over there for further discussion of this topic and others related to growing your course or coaching business. So first off, what is the recession and how do I survive it? A lot of us, I think, especially those of us who are more creative, love to focus on what we're doing and just sort of leave all of that finance talk to the finance people. But if you have an online business of any kind right now, you need to be paying attention to what is going on in the economy. First off, recession versus depression. What is the difference? Are they the same? No, they're not the same. They are very different. And I don't claim to be a finance guru. I'm not a CPA or anything like that. So none of this is to be considered financial business advice. Of course, go talk to your chosen experts in those fields for official legal advice on this. But the difference for us general people and creative people in a recession and a depression is that a recession is a decline in economic activity that spreads across the economy for a couple of months. They're talking about lower GDP over a couple of quarters in a row, lower consumer spending, higher inflation, which of course we've seen, higher loss of jobs, that kind of a thing. A depression is a more extreme economic downturn. And this is one that's going to go on for years and years, not just a couple of quarters or a couple of months. We all have heard people talk about the Great Depression from 1929 to 1939. I don't know that we're there yet. However, we are seeing a lot of the people who know talking about being in a recession, and we don't know when we're coming out of a recession. These things are not so predictable. And so as an online business, we need to be prepared. And so today I'm talking about the 7 ways to recession proof your online coaching business. And the most important for me is number 3 and number 7. So hang in here with us. Number 1 way to recession proof your business is to pray and yield it to God. The God who placed you in this time, in this century, in this economic day and age has a plan for you, and he's not going to let you miss it. And so I believe that as a believer in the marketplace, the number 1 thing we can do to protect our business is to pray over it and to yield it back to the God who gifted it to us in the first place. You will find that this is something that we do in our business, that we coach our clients through, that we coach our mastermind through. You've got to acknowledge the sovereignty of your God in this situation. He is not out of control. He is not surprised. And he knows tomorrow. He's already there. He's willing to walk you through it if you're willing to trust him with it. And so that's the number 1 way to recession proof your business, is to recession proof your heart and your mind by trusting it all to the God who gifted it to you. Number 2, determined to lead and determined to survive. Making the decision is half the battle. And this again is sort of a mindset piece, right? If you're going to survive this recession and come out on the other end, still in business, still making a profit, it starts with deciding. You have to make the decision. This is half the battle in any battle that we fight, is deciding to win, deciding that I will flex if needed, deciding I will pivot if needed. I will do whatever it takes, as long as it doesn't go against my God or my ethics, to survive this. We will do what it takes. And you're going to see through some of the other points today that there are things that you can do, and it may take some pivoting and some flexing, but it won't happen if you're not willing. If you're just going to curl up in a ball and cry or throw in the towel because things got hard or because things aren't working the way that they have always worked, you're not going to make it. And this is why a lot of the people who I believe have come online as brand new business owners in the last 2 years of the whole COVID thing will not be in business at the end of this recession, because they don't have the stamina that those of us who've been in business for 10 and 20 and 40 years have. They've not seen the ups and downs of the markets. They've not learned to pivot and flex and to read the signs. If you're going to survive, you're going to have to be the one who decides, I will survive. We will make it through this. For the number 3 way to recession proof your business is to position yourself and your market as essential. Okay. So whenever money gets tight, whenever inflation goes up, whenever job loss goes up, whenever there's issues like this in the economy, people start cutting back. And this is why we've seen less retail spending. This is why we've seen less consumer money in the market, because people are getting scared and they're cutting back. They're stopping the discretionary spending. And so if you are one of those businesses that people consider discretionary or extra or not essential, you're going to be what they cut first. And so how can you position yourself as something they cannot live without? And those of us who have online courses and who do coaching programs and paid educational trainings, we have to figure out how to position ourselves as essential during this time. If you cut anything else, do not cut your coach, because that is the person that's going to get you through this. They're the ones that are going to call you out on your junk when you're lying to yourself about what you should and shouldn't do. They're the ones who are going to hold your feet to the fire when you want to throw in the towel and quit. They're the ones who are going to brainstorm with you, or who are going to cry with you through the hard times, and who are going to push you to keep going. You need a coach now more than ever during the hard time. Do not cut your coach. Okay, that's my argument. That's part of what we're using to position ourselves. What can you use to make their reason not to stay with you, not to continue paying you, not to buy your thing? How can you pivot that and present it in such a way that they cannot say no, that they have to invest with you in order to survive this? You are the most essential thing they've got to have during this time. I have a coach that always says, make the reason not to the reason to. And I don't know if that's original to her or somebody else, but this is what we're trying to do. The reason they say they have to cut you and not spend with you, how can we switch that around and make them see that's the very reason why they most need you during this time? And so you've got to figure out how to position yourself as essential in the marketplace in order to recession proof your business. That may mean pivoting a little bit. That may mean being creative, but you have got to do it, and not just say it, but you've got to prove that you are essential to those people that you're serving. All right, number 4. And again, stick in with me because number 7 is one of my favorite. Number 4, meet with a financial planner and evaluate your business. This is something that we have just done this week. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. Meet with your financial planner, go through all of like, what recurring revenue do you have? What ways do you have to bring in new revenue? How much do you need per month? Where can you cut back? What's your long-term plan? How much do you have in savings? How long could you live off that if you had to, right? Going through all of those things with a financial planner who knows more about this than I do can help you figure out a plan. What's your credit look like right now? None of us want to live on credit. I don't recommend it. However, if you had to in a pinch, is it available? What other resources do you have that you could tap into for a temporary amount of time if you had to? And this goes along with that whole idea of being sure that you have a coach to help you come up with these other ideas, which we'll get to in a bit, right? But the personal planning for your personal finance, for your business finance, like you have got to have a plan going into this. We can no longer just look at the car in front of us, as my friend Connie says. You've got to be looking long-term, miles down the road, and say, how are we going to get where we want to go? How are we going to survive this heavy time to get to where the traffic runs free again? And so keeping your head up, getting some help for that financial planning is going to be super, super important to recession proof your business. Number 5 is do not skip on the marketing. You might expect that from someone who teaches marketing. However, marketing is one of those things that most companies will cut in a recession. When money gets tight, marketing is the first thing. We don't want to cut our people. We don't want to cut our other resources. We can't cut our electricity and our internet, right? So where do we cut back? We cut back on our marketing. This should not be your plan if you want to survive the recession. You want to be more visible during a recession, and where other people are taking themselves off of the market and out of visibility, you want to be in there, taking their place, being more visible. Does that mean more money? Not necessarily. It means being creative about how you can be out there in front of folks. And so maybe we reallocate some spending to our marketing. Maybe we come up with creative ways. Maybe we work on a relationship so that we can trade emails. Maybe we do some trading of services. Maybe we go find more stages to speak on. Like, what can you do to increase your marketing during this time? Because again, if people don't see you, they're not going to buy from you. And so this is not the time to be shrinking from public view because of finances. God is not broke. And if he wants this business to survive, he's going to help you figure out a way to stay in front of your people. And if not, if there ever was a time to be more in front of them than ever, it is now. So how can you not skimp on the marketing, be more creative about your marketing, be out there so that you can be seen more now than ever, especially during this time when a lot of your competitors and larger companies will be cutting back on their marketing budget. And you want to be out there and taking their place. Number 6, don't forget about the 20%. Don't forget about the 20, don't forget about the people you already have. This is super, super important. The 80-20 rule, I know you've heard of that. If you've not, go look it up. There's a book, there's trainings, there's all kind of stuff, but that 80-20 rule, 20% of your people, we say, will be ready to invest with you for more money at a higher level at any point in time. 20% of the people that you have in your world already right now do still have money. A lot of people have it hard right now, but there are still people spending money. This is why the economy is not completely crashed yet. And so how can you continue to nurture your people? What could you offer to that 20% of your people who do still have money to spend right now to be able to make a difference in their lives? Maybe it means a new program. Maybe it means, I don't know, but how can you get in front of them? How can you meet their needs? How can you give them something that would be of super value to them right now to be able to have them take the next step with you? 20% of your people do still have money to spend. I firmly believe that. And you can make an offer they can't refuse. They will spend it with you. Point number 7 in how to recession proof your coaching or online business is to have a business coach. And I've already alluded to this. It's not just because I'm a coach. I also have coaches. I don't think you should ever invest with a coach who does not have a coach herself or himself. This idea of do not scrimp on your coaching, do not take yourself out of the community and the advice and the influence of those who have more wisdom than you during this hard time. That is the ultimate formula for failure during a recession, is to isolate yourself from those who can pour into you and build you up and hold you accountable and keep the ideas flowing and encourage you when things get hard. Do not take yourself out of the community and the advice and the influence of those who have more wisdom than you during this hard time. You need a coach now more than ever if you're going to survive this recession. You need a support group. You need somebody there who understands, who's been through it before you, who can hold your feet to the fire, who can speak truth to you in love, who can get you back in the game when you're not, and who can really, really help you brainstorm more income ideas. I think you should have a whole file full of ideas of how else could we bring in income during this time? How else could we serve our people? How else could we add value to those in our audience and in our world right now during these troubled times? You need to be plugged in to a coach and a community that can support you. If you do anything during this time, if there is anything worth investing in this time, it is in a coach and a supportive community, because the people who are not in business are not going to get it. The people, your family, your friends, like, they're not going to get it. And they're going to be even more critical of you spending money on business related things when money is tight than they were when money wasn't tight. You need people who understand, who will be in your corner, who will be there and say, I will champion you. I am behind you. I believe in you. I believe in what you're doing. And I've got the business experience to help you brainstorm how to get through this and still thrive and survive on the other side. We have got to find a way to continue to make profit, even if the business doesn't stay extremely profitable, because when you start losing profit for too long, you go under. And so you've got to surround yourself with those that not only believe it, but that have the wisdom and the expertise to help you achieve it, even during the hardest of hard times economically. It will motivate you, that will encourage you, that will keep bringing you back to your why and your vision. Now more than ever, you need a coach for your business if you're going to survive this recession. And so if you don't have one, I would love to talk with you about one of our programs or support groups or coaching programs that might help you during this time. Please reach out and do that. The point of this is to get you thinking, are you going to decide to survive the recession, and what will you do to do it? It's about taking action. You can't just learn and learn and learn and think you're going to survive. You've got to take action. What action will you take today? Leave me a comment below, because it's also going to encourage somebody else who's watching this on what action they can take. What action will you take today to recession proof your business? And if you need a coach, please reach out. We'd love to help you. Thank you guys. We'll see you next time.